The beeping wakes me first. Rhythmic. Insistent. The kind of sound that burrows into your skull and sets up permanent residence. I try to open my eyes, but my lids feel like they've been glued shut. When I finally pry them apart, fluorescent lights sear my retinas. Where am I? The answer comes in fragments. White ceiling tiles. That antiseptic smell that coats the back of your throat. The tight pull of something taped to my hand. IV line. Hospital. My throat burns. Raw. Wrong. I try to swallow, but it feels like I've swallowed broken glass. I reach up with a trembling hand and touch my neck, feeling the tenderness there. They had a tube down my throat. How long was I out? I fumble for my phone on the bedside table. My fingers feel thick, clumsy, refusing to grip the smooth metal. It takes 3 tries before I can lift it. The screen lights up. 3:47 a.m. Monday. I collapsed on Thursday. 4 days ago. 4 days I've been here, and the notification count on my phone sits at a grand total of 3. 3. My parents should have called 100 times by now. Kinsley would have blown up my phone with dramatic voice messages about how worried she was, how I scared everyone. That's how it always goes when I'm unavailable for more than a few hours. They panic. They demand. They need. But my screen shows nothing. No missed calls. No frantic texts, asking where I am or if I'm okay. I tap the notification icon, and my stomach drops through the hospital bed. Bank of America. $12,400 charge at Cabo San Lucas Resort, posted 2 days ago. My vision blurs, and I have to blink hard to clear the fog. I read it again. $12,400, Cabo San Lucas. I've never been to Cabo San Lucas. I haven't been anywhere in 3 years except Seattle and the occasional logistics conference in Portland. The second notification is Instagram. I don't even remember the last time I opened Instagram. Kinsley lives on it, posts her entire existence for strangers to consume. I only keep the app because she guilt trips me when I don't like her photos fast enough. I tap it. My thumb shakes so badly I almost drop the phone. The image loads, and something inside my chest cracks open. Preston, Deidre, Kinsley, all 3 of them clustered around a table, margaritas raised high, the ocean glittering behind them in perfect sunset lighting. My father wears that stupid Hawaiian shirt I bought him last Christmas. My mother has her hair done in beach waves, makeup flawless. Kinsley is mid-laugh, head thrown back, designer sunglasses perched on top of her head. The caption reads, Healing Trip W, the fam. Disconnect to reconnect. Family first. Posted yesterday. While I was at the hospital, they were toasting each other in Cabo. The third notification is a voicemail. I press play, even though part of me already knows what I'll hear. Callie, it's Mom. We just wanted to let you know we made it safely. The resort is absolutely gorgeous. Your father says the golf course here is top tier. Anyway, we'll check in later. Love you. Chipper. Breezy. Not a single question about why I haven't responded. Not a flicker of concern that their daughter, who works 70-hour weeks and never takes a day off, has gone completely silent. Because they know. They know exactly where I am. The hospital called them. They had to. I'm the one who pays for their cell phones. I know the number by heart. Someone from this hospital called my emergency contacts and told them their daughter was in the ICU with sepsis. And they chose margaritas. My hand shakes violently now as I scroll back further, past the cheerful vacation photos, looking for something. Anything. A worried text from 4 days ago. A missed call, time-stamped right after my collapse. Nothing. But there is something from 5 days ago. Before I collapsed. Kinsley. Need $500 as soon as possible. Dress for Cabo didn't fit. Don't ignore me. I remember that text. I was at my desk, files stacked in towers around me, trying to reconcile a shipment discrepancy that would cost the company 6 figures if I didn't fix it. The pain in my abdomen had been building for hours. Sharp, insistent. I kept telling myself it was just stress, just another reminder that I needed to eat something other than vending machine crackers. Kinsley's text came through, and I did what I always do, pulled up my banking app, hovered my thumb over the transfer button. The pain spiked then, white hot, blinding. I remember falling. The cold tile of the office floor against my cheek. My phone still clutched in my hand. Kinsley's text still open on the screen. I remember thinking, even as the edges of my vision went dark, that I needed to send the money first. Kinsley needed that dress. It was important to her. I couldn't let her down. I collapsed, trying to fund their vacation while my organs were shutting down. The door to my room opens and I expect a nurse. Instead, I see Aunt Lenore. She's the only one who came. Preston's older sister, the one who has been estranged from the family for 15 years, ever since she refused to co-sign a loan for one of his investment schemes. She looks exactly like I remember. Steel gray hair cut sharp at her shoulders, eyes that miss nothing. "You're awake." She crosses to my bedside, sets down a leather portfolio I recognize from her forensic auditing days. "Good, we have a lot to talk about." "How did you know I was here?" My voice is a wreck, gravel grinding against stone. "The hospital called me. You listed me as your primary emergency contact 2 years ago." She pulls up a chair, sits down like she's settling in for a long conversation. "Smart move, sweetheart." I answered on the first ring. "And my parents?" Lenore's expression doesn't change, but something flickers in her eyes. Rage, maybe, or disgust. "They answered too." The words hit me like a physical blow. "They answered?" Preston told the hospital the vacation package was non-refundable. Said he had a networking golf tournament the next morning that he couldn't miss. "Your mother said you were probably being dramatic." Lenore leans forward. "They chose Cabo over you, Callie. Consciously, deliberately." I should cry. I should feel something break. But instead, I just feel cold. A nurse appears in the doorway. Young. Kind-faced. "Miss Howard, do you want us to try calling your parents again?" "We can." "No." The word rasps out harder than I intended. The nurse blinks. I look at the Instagram photo one more time. My father's satisfied smile. My mother's perfect hair. Kinsley's carefree laugh. Then I hand my phone to Lenore. My grip is weak, but my intent isn't. "Block them," I whisper. "Block all of them." Lenore takes the phone. Studies my face for a long moment. Then she nods. "About damn time." The morphine fog lifts by noon, and with it comes clarity I'm not sure I want. Lenore has transformed my hospital room into something that looks like a crime scene investigation. Her leather portfolio lies open on the rolling table, papers fanned out in neat stacks. She's brought her laptop, the same ancient ThinkPad she used when she worked fraud cases for the state. "How long have you been tracking them?" I ask. 8 months. She doesn't look up from the screen. "Started the day Preston called me drunk, bragging about his high-yield investment strategy. Said he was bringing in 12% returns quarterly." She glances at me. "You know what legitimate investments are returning right now? Maybe 4% annually if you're lucky." "Bingo." She taps a key, and the printer on the windowsill starts humming. So I got curious. Started pulling public records. Your credit report. Property filings. My chest tightens. "You can't access my credit report." "You're right. I can't." She slides a paper across to me. "But you can. You signed this authorization 2 years ago when you made me your emergency contact. You were smart even then, sweetheart. Some part of you knew." I take the document, my signature, my handwriting. The memory flashes back at the exact moment I signed it. I nod and ask, "What did you find?" Lenore pulls out a folder. Red, the color she always used for active fraud cases. "Your family doesn't have a CFO, Callie. They have you. Unpaid, unappreciated, and completely bled dry." She opens it. Preston hasn't held a legitimate job in 6 years. He calls himself a high-risk investment consultant, but what he actually runs is a small-scale Ponzi scheme. Takes money from new investors, uses your income to pay returns to old ones. The beeping of my heart monitor picks up pace. It gets worse. She pulls out another sheet. "This is a HELOC, home equity line of credit. Taken against your house 3 months ago. $60,000. The number doesn't make sense. I didn't take out a HELOC." "No, you didn't." Lenore's jaw tightens. "But someone did. Someone who forged your signature and had it notarized by someone who should lose their license." I stare at the document. The signature looks like mine. Close enough that a bank wouldn't question it. But I know I didn't sign this. I would never leverage my house. It's the only thing I own outright. The only safe place I have. "I can't prove this in court yet," Lenore says. "Not without more evidence. But I can prove it to you." She turns the laptop toward me, pulls up a video file. The thumbnail shows my kitchen. "Ring camera?" I ask. From your doorbell, the one that also covers your kitchen if the door's open. She hits play. The footage is from 7 weeks ago. I was at a conference in Portland that weekend. I remember because Kinsley complained I'd miss her birthday brunch. On screen, Preston sits at my kitchen table. Papers spread out in front of him. The HELOC documents. He's got a pen in his hand, practicing something on a legal pad. My signature. He does it over and over, checks it against something on his phone. Probably a photo of my real signature. Tries again. Deidre leans over his shoulder, watches. When he finally gets it right, she actually claps. The notary arrives 20 minutes into the video. A woman I've never seen before. She barely glances at the signature. Doesn't ask for ID, just stamps the document and takes her cash payment. Lenore pauses the video. That's felony fraud, bank fraud, identity theft, 10 years minimum if prosecuted federally. I can't look away from the frozen image. My father's satisfied smile, my mother's approval, the casual criminality of it. How much is left? My voice sounds distant, like it belongs to someone else. Of the $60,000? About $800. The air leaves my lungs. The rest went into Preston's investment scheme. He used it to pay returns to 3 separate investors who were getting nervous. Bought himself another quarter of looking legitimate. I think about the dress Kinsley needed. $500. There are 2 primary threats, Lenore says, switching into the clinical tone I remember from her investigator days. Preston is the financial predator. He'll bleed you until there's nothing left, then declare bankruptcy and leave you with the debt. Kinsley is the reputation leech. She'll destroy your credibility to preserve her victim narrative. What do I do? You purge. She pulls up a list on her phone. Every supplementary card in your name, every account they have access to, every automatic payment that touches your money. You cut it all off. Right now. No warning. No explanation. My hands shake. They'll lose their minds. Good. Lenore's eyes are hard. Let them. You're in a hospital bed because you worked yourself into sepsis trying to keep them comfortable. They're in Cabo drinking on your dime. You don't owe them a soft landing. She's right. I know she's right. But 32 years of conditioning doesn't evaporate because of one Instagram photo. Start with the cards, Lenore says. She hands me my phone, already open to my banking app. Lock them all. I navigate to the supplementary card management screen. 4 cards, Preston, Deidre, Kinsley, and one for Grandma Betty that I forgot existed. I tap the first one. Preston Howard. Status. Active. Last charge. $340 at a golf pro shop in Cabo. Yesterday. I select Lock Card. A confirmation screen appears. Are you sure you want to restrict this cardholder's access? My thumb hovers over. Confirm. He's at dinner right now. Lenore says quietly. Checked his Instagram story 20 minutes ago. Some oceanfront restaurant. Expensive place. He's probably trying to recruit new investors over lobster. I press confirm. Then Deidre's, then Kinsley's, then Betty's. 4 cards locked in 90 seconds. Now the fraud alerts, Lenore says. Call the credit bureaus. Tell them you're a victim of identity theft, and you need an immediate freeze. I make the calls. TransUnion, Equifax, Experian. It takes effort. My voice cracks, and I have to repeat myself twice to the automated system, but I do it. Each one seals another door Preston was using to access my financial life. Final step, Lenore says. The joint accounts. We don't have joint accounts. You have 3 accounts that list Preston Howard as an authorized user. He can't withdraw, but he can see every transaction you make. She pulls up the statements. He's been monitoring your spending patterns for at least 2 years. That's how he knew exactly how much he could take without you noticing immediately. The violation of it crawls across my skin. I remove his access from all 3 accounts. Lenore checks her watch. In about 20 minutes, your father is going to try to pay for dinner. His card will be declined. The waiter will probably cut it in half right there at the table, in front of whoever he's trying to impress. Good, I say. My phone rings before the word is fully out of my mouth. An unknown number. My family. Lenore reaches for it, but I stop her. I need to hear this. Need to know if there's any part of my family that's calling because they found out I was hospitalized. Any fragment of him that's actually my family instead of my accountant's. I answer. Put it on speaker. You made me look like a fool. My father's voice is pure rage. Not worried. Not concerned. Rage. The waiter cut up my card in front of clients. Do you have any idea what you've done? Not, are you okay? Not, we heard you were sick. Just fury that his access to my money got interrupted. Fix this, he demands. Right now. I don't care what kind of tantrum you're throwing. Fix it. Effin. Lenore's hand covers mine on the phone. Steady. Grounding. No, I say. What? No, I'm not fixing anything. Callie, I swear to God if you don't. I hang up, turn off the phone, set it face down on the table. Lenore squeezes my hand. How do you feel? Like I just cut off my own arm. Like I can finally breathe. Like I'm going to throw up. Like I'm free. Terrified, I tell her. Good, she says. That means you're doing it right. 2 days after waking up, the discharge paperwork feels like a prop from someone else's life. 6 days. That's how long I've been here. 6 days of beeping monitors and IV antibiotics and nurses checking my vitals every 4 hours. 6 days of existing in this sterile bubble while my family imploded in real time. Lenore signs as my medical proxy, since I still can't stand for more than 10 minutes without my vision tunneling. The nurse wheels me out in the mandatory chair, and I hate every second of it, hate the weakness. Hate that my body betrayed me so completely that I ended up here in the first place. But mostly I hate that I'm going home to a house my father violated. The Uber pulls up to my place, and I'm struck by how normal it looks. Gray siding, black shutters. The lawn needs mowing, but otherwise, everything appears untouched. Like the past week didn't shatter my entire understanding of my family. Lenore helps me up the front steps. My abdomen still aches with every movement, a constant reminder of how close I came to dying while they sipped cocktails. Inside, the violation becomes visible. Preston's coffee mug sits on my kitchen counter. Not washed. Just abandoned there like he planned to come back and finish it. Deidre's reading glasses are folded on the arm of my couch. The throw pillows are rearranged in that specific way she prefers, the decorative ones shoved to the corners. They were living here. While I was intubated, they were living in my house like it belonged to them. Don't touch anything yet, Lenore says. She's already pulling on latex gloves from her purse. Always prepared. I've been documenting, but we need photos of everything exactly as they left it. I lower myself onto a dining chair, the only piece of furniture that doesn't feel contaminated. Lenore moves through the rooms with professional efficiency, her phone camera clicking steadily. She opens drawers I didn't even know they'd accessed. My home office, my bedroom closet, the storage boxes in the garage. How bad is it? My voice comes out thin, bad enough. She returns with a banker's box, sets it on the table in front of me, but also stupid enough. Inside are documents. So many documents. Bank statements with my forged signature, printouts of wire transfers, a ledger in Preston's handwriting tracking investments that don't exist. And underneath it all, a business registration form for something called Apex Horizons LLC, Nevada filing. Preston listed as managing member. What is this? That, Lenore says, pulling up a chair, is where your HELOC money went. Not to bills, not to their mortgage, to a shell company Preston set up 18 months ago. My hands shake as I flip through the pages. $60,000, siphoned in increments small enough that I wouldn't notice on statements I barely checked. The money didn't disappear into generic family emergencies. It went into an account Preston controlled completely. He's been running this scheme for 8 years minimum. Lenore spreads out a timeline she's constructed, color-coded, cross-referenced. Small investors, mostly people from his golf club. He promises 12% returns, pays out the first few dividends to build trust, then uses new investor money to pay old investors. A Ponzi scheme. A Ponzi scheme. She taps the Nevada filing. This is the infrastructure. He thought Nevada's privacy laws would protect him. He thought you'd never look. I stare at the evidence, at the proof of my father's systematic fraud, laid out in neat columns. Part of me wants to feel shocked, but mostly I just feel cold. My phone buzzes. Grandma Betty. Again. She's called 4 times since yesterday. Left 3 voicemails that Lenore previewed for me, each one more aggressive than the last. The messages all follow the same script. I'm selfish. I'm cruel. I'm destroying the family over a misunderstanding. The felony fraud doesn't rate a mention. The phone buzzes again. I reach for it, but Lenore's hand covers mine. You don't have to answer. She'll just keep calling. Let her. But the buzzing continues. Insistent. Demanding. The same ringtone I assigned her years ago because she complained when I didn't answer fast enough. I pull my hand free and accept the call. Put it on speaker because I'm too tired to hold the phone. Finally. Grandma Betty's voice fills my kitchen, sharp and certain. Do you have any idea what you've put your parents through? They had to fly home in economy class, Callie. Economy. Your mother's back has been out for 3 days. I was intubated, Grandma. And that's very unfortunate, sweetheart, but you're fine now. Preston says you've frozen all the accounts over some billing confusion. You need to fix this immediately. Billing confusion? That's what he's calling it. He forged my signature on a $60,000 loan. Oh, don't be dramatic. You have so much, and they have so little. It is your duty to share. Family takes care of family. There it is. The foundational belief that's governed every interaction we've ever had. Family takes care of family, which in practice means Callie funds everyone else's choices without complaint. Preston says you're destroying the family over a misunderstanding. Betty's voice softens, turns coaxing. You've always been such a good girl, Callie. So responsible. Don't let pride ruin what we have. Lenore reaches for the phone, her expression fierce. Ready to fight this battle for me. I stop her. This is mine. I take the phone off speaker, lift it to my ear. My hands still shake, but my voice comes out steady. Grandma, love isn't a line of credit. I'm done paying for my own abuse. Then I hang up. Silence fills the kitchen. Lenore stares at me like she's seeing someone new. My phone immediately starts buzzing again, Betty's name flashing on the screen. I decline the call. Block the number. The sudden quiet feels massive. That was the matriarch, Lenore says slowly. You just hung up on the matriarch. I know. She'll escalate. I know. Lenore's expression shifts into something I've never seen directed at me before. Respect, maybe. Or recognition. She pushes the banker's box toward me. Then you're going to need to see all of it. The other investors. The payment records. The complaints people have already filed with the state. I pull the documents closer. Force my exhausted brain to process what I'm seeing. 5 other investors besides me. All older men from Preston's golf network. All promised impossible returns. All paid back with money from the next person in line. This is prosecutable, I say. Extremely. Federal charges. Multiple counts. I look up at her. He's coming for the house, isn't he? Once he realizes the money's really gone. Lenore nods, her jaw tight. Yes. But they don't know I've traced where the HELOC money went. They don't know we have the Nevada filing. They don't know about the investor list. She leans forward, and I see the forensic auditor she used to be. The woman who took down corporate fraud rings and walked away clean. We have the leverage, Callie. We just need them to walk into the trap. 3 days later, the video hits 2 million views while I'm sitting in a staff meeting. My phone buzzes against the conference table. Once, twice, 7 times in 30 seconds. I flip it face down, but not before I catch a glimpse of the notification. Kinsley Living tagged you in a post. Later, in the bathroom, I watch it. Kinsley's face fills the screen, mascara streaked artfully down her cheeks. Real tears this time, I think. Or maybe she's just gotten better at the glycerin trick. My sister left us stranded. She sobs into the camera. We had nothing, no way home. She cut us off while we were in another country because she couldn't stand seeing us happy for once in our lives. The comments scroll faster than I can read them. Narcissist. Hope karma gets you. Your poor parents. By the end of the day, 3 coworkers have asked if I'm okay. By the end of the week, my boss pulls me aside to discuss personal matters affecting workplace perception. Professional damage. Mounting. Exactly what Kinsley intended. 2 weeks after the video goes viral, Preston's lawyer sends the demand letter. Lenore brings it to my apartment on a Tuesday evening. I'm heating up soup I won't eat, trying not to think about the fact that my LinkedIn inbox is full of messages from people who've seen Kinsley's performance. Tenants' rights. Lenore reads aloud, her voice flat. He's claiming a verbal lifetime lease based on, quote, Decade of continuous residency and property management, unquote. I set down my spoon. He what? It's a stalling tactic. Ties the house up in court for years while he lives there rent-free. She flips to the next page. His lawyer is decent. Not great, but decent enough to make this expensive for you. The number at the bottom of the estimate makes my stomach turn. Legal fees, court costs. Years of my life spent fighting while Preston plays victim and Kinsley racks up views. I think about the Instagram photo. Ask. The margaritas. My father's satisfied smile while I was intubated. What do we do? Lenore looks at me over the top of the letter. We let him think he's won. The mediation happens in a conference room that smells like burnt coffee and desperation. Gray walls, gray carpet. A table so aggressively neutral it might as well not exist. Preston arrives first, lawyer in tow. He's wearing a suit I bought him 2 Christmases ago for a business opportunity that never materialized. Deidre follows, phone already out, probably texting Kinsley play-by-play updates. Kinsley herself slouches in last, filming everything on her phone until the lawyer makes her stop. I let my hands shake when I pour water from the pitcher. Spill a little on the table. Preston notices. Smirks. Callie. His voice carries that false warmth he uses when he wants something. We don't have to do this. We're family. I don't answer. Let my silence read as fear instead of fury. Lenore sits beside me, playing her part. Weary advisor. Tired of fighting. She's dressed down for this, wore her oldest blazer, left her forensic auditing credentials off the table tent with her name. Preston's lawyer starts talking. Demands. Concessions. A formal acknowledgement of their residency rights. 6 months minimum before any eviction proceedings, plus a monthly stipend for displacement hardship. The words blur together. I focus on my breathing. In for 4, out for 4. The technique my therapist taught me for panic attacks works just as well for calculated performance. Miss Howard. Preston's lawyer leans forward. Your father has been very patient, but he's prepared to take this to trial if necessary. The publicity alone. We have a proposal, Lenore interrupts. She slides a document across the table. Single page. Dense text. The header reads, Affidavit of Residency and Management. Preston's lawyer picks it up, skims it. His eyebrows rise slightly, but he keeps his face professionally neutral. What is this? A compromise. Lenore's voice is exhausted. Defeated. Oscar-worthy. Callie will agree to a 6-month extension and a modest monthly stipend. In exchange, Preston signs this affidavit, confirming he resided at the property as his primary residence and exclusively managed household finances for the past 10 years. I watch Preston read over his lawyer's shoulder, see the exact moment he thinks he's won. His spine straightens. The smirk returns. This admits everything, Preston says slowly. That we lived there, managed everything, ran the household. Play. Yes. Lenore slides a pen across the table. It validates your claims, makes any future legal action much simpler. For you. I need to consult with my client, the lawyer says. He looks uneasy. They huddle, whisper. I see the lawyer tapping the paper urgently, shaking his head. He's spotted the risk. He knows exclusive management is a liability trap. But Preston isn't listening. He's looking at me. At the daughter, he thinks he's beaten. It's fine, Preston says, loud enough for us to hear. He waves his lawyer off with a dismissive flick of his hand. She just wants a piece of paper to save face. Let her have it. Preston, I strongly advise against, the lawyer starts. I said it's fine. Preston snatches the pen. His signature sprawls across the bottom line, bold and confident. The signature of a man who thinks he's just secured his retirement on his daughter's dime. Deidre signs as witness. So does Kinsley, her handwriting looping and dramatic. They leave 20 minutes later, high-fiving in the hallway. I hear Kinsley's laugh echo back through the closing door, sharp and triumphant. The door clicks shut. Lenore's exhausted demeanor vanishes like somebody flipped a switch. She picks up the signed affidavit, holds it up to the light streaming through the window, checking the signatures one final time. Then she smiles. It's not a nice smile. It's the smile of a forensic auditor who just got exactly the evidence she needed, gift-wrapped and notarized. They just signed their own death warrant. I stare at the document. at Preston's confident signature. What did we do? By swearing he lived here in Washington as his primary residence while simultaneously claiming Florida residency for tax purposes on other documents I've collected, he just confessed to tax fraud. Lenore sets the affidavit down carefully, reverently. And by admitting he exclusively managed household finances, he just linked himself directly to every transaction from the Ponzi scheme accounts. The trap. Not in the language of the document, but in what signing it proves. The IRS loves this kind of thing, Lenore continues. Clear documentation. Signed confession. No wiggle room. She slides the affidavit into her leather portfolio. We just armed the weapon. Now we wait for the right moment to fire. Outside, I hear Kinsley's laugh again. Celebratory. Victorious. She has no idea what her father just signed. Neither does Preston. But they will. The party planning starts 3 days after the mediation. I know because Kinsley posts about it. Victory celebration at the family estate this weekend. Sometimes you have to fight for what's yours. Family wins. Justice served. The family estate? My house? The one they're still illegally occupying while I pay rent on a studio apartment near the hospital because I can't stomach sleeping under the same roof? Lenore shows me the post over coffee at her place. I should feel rage. Instead, I just feel tired. Let them celebrate, Lenore says. She's wearing reading glasses, scrolling through something on her laptop. Hubris makes excellent seasoning. For what? She turns the screen toward me. It's a Reddit thread. The title reads, "Help me find proof my coworker's sister is lying about her narcissist story." My chest tightens. Who posted this? Sarah Chen from your logistics department. Apparently she remembered you were out with sepsis the same week Kinsley claimed you abandoned the family. Lenore clicks through the comments. She's asking if anyone has time-stamped proof of where your family was during your ICU stay. I scan the responses. Someone linked Kinsley's Instagram. Another person pulled the metadata from her Cabo photos. A third commenter found the resort's tagged location history. This will destroy her, I say. Lenore removes her glasses. She destroyed herself. The internet is just holding up a mirror. By that evening, the truth is everywhere. Someone obtained visitor logs from the hospital through a HIPAA request, proving 0 family visits during my 6-day stay. The timestamps on Kinsley's vacation photos line up perfectly with my intubation. The comments on her TikTok shift like a tide going out. You lied about everything. Your sister almost died and you were doing shots? This is actually sick. Get help. Her follower count drops by half overnight. By morning, 3 brand deals have issued public statements terminating their partnerships. Her management company puts out a vague statement about pursuing other opportunities. I watch it happen from Lenore's couch, coffee going cold in my hands. I should feel vindicated. Instead, I just feel hollow. They're coming tomorrow, Lenore says. She's on her phone, typing rapidly. Preston just confirmed. 2 p.m. For what? Final settlement meeting. I told him you're ready to surrender the house entirely. She looks up, smile sharp. He thinks he's won. The next afternoon, I arrive at Lenore's office building downtown. It's all glass and steel, the kind of place that smells like expensive carpet and quiet money. Preston's leased Range Rover is already in the parking garage. I recognize it by the investor lifestyle bumper sticker he slapped on the pristine bumper tacky, just like him. My hands shake as we ride the elevator up. Lenore squeezes my shoulder once, brief and firm. Remember, she says, you're not the one who should be afraid. The conference room is smaller than I expected. Preston sits at the head of the table, legs spread wide, taking up space like it's his birthright. Deidre perches beside him, fresh manicure drumming against the wood. Kinsley slouches in the corner, phone face down for once. Her eyes are red. No lawyer this time. Interesting. Where's your counsel? Lenore asks, arching a brow. Preston waves a hand dismissively. At $400 an hour just to watch me accept your surrender? I don't think so. I can handle a simple property transfer. Lenore smiles. A shark sensing blood. Suit yourself. Callie. Preston's voice drips with false warmth. Good to see you being reasonable about all this. I don't respond. Lenore gestures for me to sit, then takes the chair at the opposite end of the table. Between us, she places 2 items. The signed affidavit from last week and a thick manila envelope. Pre-stamped. Pre-addressed. Internal Revenue Service, Criminal Investigation Division. Preston's eyes flick to it. Something crosses his face. Not quite fear yet. Just calculation. What's that? Deidre asks. Lenore folds her hands. Insurance. She opens a leather folder. Inside are two subfolders, labeled A and B. She slides folder A across the table. This contains Ring camera footage from Callie's kitchen showing you, Preston, practicing her signature. 47 attempts before you got it right. She taps the folder. It shows the notary arriving, shows you forging the HELOC documents. That's bank fraud, identity theft, 10 to 15 years in federal prison. Preston's face drains. That's not what that is. I was just... The notary already cooperated with authorities. He's willing to testify in exchange for a reduced sentence on his other cases. Lenore doesn't raise her voice. Doesn't need to. Folder A goes to the FBI if you walk out that door without signing the voluntary surrender. Deidre makes a small sound, almost a whimper. Lenore slides folder B forward. This one's even better. Remember that affidavit you signed last week? The one where you swore under oath that you lived in Washington as your primary residence, while exclusively managing all household finances? Preston's hands curl into fists. That's interesting, because your Florida driver's license says you're a resident of Orlando. So does your tax return from last year. And the year before. And every year since 2016. She opens the folder, revealing page after page of documentation. You claimed Florida residency to avoid Washington's capital gains tax. But you just signed a legal document admitting you lived here. That's called tax fraud, Preston. I'll recant. His voice comes out strangled. I'll say I was confused. Then I mail both folders to federal investigators and you get charged with perjury on top of everything else. Lenore leans back. But wait, there's more. She pulls out another set of papers. Financial ledgers, bank statements, names I don't recognize. By admitting you managed Callie's household finances, you legally tied yourself to every account that received funds from her income, including the Nevada Shell Company, including the investment scheme accounts. She spreads them across the table like a poker hand. We have 12 investors ready to file complaints. We have wire transfer records. We have your signature on documents promising returns you knew you couldn't deliver. Those were legitimate investments, Preston says, but his voice cracks. Then you won't mind explaining them to a grand jury. Silence fills the room like water rising. Deidre is crying quietly. Kinsley stares at the table, motionless. Preston looks at me finally. Really looks at me. Callie, sweetheart, this is your aunt twisting everything. You know me. You know I'd never deliberately hurt you. We're family. His voice shifts, takes on that wheedling tone I've heard 1,000 times. We made mistakes. People make mistakes. But we raised you. We loved you. Doesn't that count for something? Once, that tone would have shattered me, would have pulled me right back into the cycle. Now I just wait for Lenore to finish. She taps the pre-stamped envelope. Here's how this works. You sign the voluntary property surrender right now. You vacate within 24 hours. I file a simple eviction on record, no criminal charges. You walk away with your freedom. Or, Preston asks, or you refuse, and this envelope goes in the mail the second you leave. FBI, IRS, every investor complaint filed simultaneously. You'll be in federal custody within a week. The fluorescent lights hum. Someone's phone buzzes. Kinsley, probably. Another brand deal falling through. Preston's hand trembles as he reaches for the pen. Just a small loan, he says, voice breaking. To help us move. Start over. $5,000. You have so much, Callie. Just $5,000. Every cell in my body recognizes this moment. The final test. The last chance for old patterns to reassert control. Old Callie would have checked her bank balance before he finished the sentence. I stand. Look him directly in the eye. No. One word. Clean. Final. His face crumples. Not with sadness. With rage. With disbelief that his asset is refusing to perform. He signs. 18 hours later, I stand in my house while Lenore changes the locks. The place is empty except for the furniture I bought. They took their clothes, Preston's files, Kinsley's ring light setup. Nothing else. The silence is extraordinary. My phone buzzes. Grandma Betty's name lights up the screen. I let it go to voicemail. already knowing what it'll say. Family betrayer. Ungrateful. Cold-hearted. I delete it without listening. Through the window, I watch the sunset, paint my neighborhood in shades of copper and gold. My abdomen still aches sometimes, phantom pain from the sepsis, but my chest feels light, free. The house sells 3 months after the eviction. I watch the closing documents slide across the table at the title company, my signature steady where Preston's once trembled. After paying off the fraudulent HELOC, there's no profit, just zero. A clean slate where contamination used to be. I take the last check and walk out into rain. My new apartment overlooks Puget Sound from the 3rd floor of a 1,972 building in Ballard. 800 square feet, 1 bedroom, a balcony barely wide enough for 2 folding chairs. It costs half what the house did, and when I wake up here, my chest doesn't feel like someone parked a truck on it. No ghosts, no debts, just mine. 6 months after the eviction, I meet the first grant recipient in a coffee shop near Pike Place Market. Her name is Rebecca, 28. Shaking hands, clutching a folder of financial documents she's afraid to open. My brother took out credit cards in my name, she says. I didn't know until collections called my work. I recognize the look in her eyes. The shame that doesn't belong to her but sits there anyway, heavy as a stone. You're not responsible for what he did, I tell her. You're only responsible for what you do now. She cries. I hand her tissues and the grant paperwork. $5,000. Enough for a security deposit and first month's rent somewhere he doesn't have the address. How did you stop feeling guilty? She asks. I think about that for a moment. The truth is complicated. Healing isn't linear. Some days I still wake up and reach for my phone to check if they've texted. But most days, I don't. I stopped confusing love with sacrifice, I say finally. Real love doesn't cost you everything. That afternoon, my phone buzzes, the same notification tone from that ICU room months ago. My body freezes, old programming trying to boot up. It's an email. Subject line, emergency, kidney surgery. I stare at Preston's name in my inbox. My thumb hovers over the delete button, but something stops me. Curiosity, maybe. Or the need to see if I'll still feel that old pull. I open it. Callie, I know we haven't spoken, but I need your help. Emergency kidney surgery next week. Insurance won't cover everything. The hospital needs $8,000 up front or they'll cancel. I'm sorry for everything that happened. I know I made mistakes. But I'm your father. Please. The words are precision engineered. Medical crisis. Apology. Blood relation. Every pressure point he installed in me since childhood, pressed in exact sequence. In the past, I would have called the hospital to verify. I would have at least Googled it, or I might have felt guilty for not caring. Now, I just forward it to Lenore, without reading the rest. Her response comes back in 4 minutes. Outpatient procedure. Kidney stone removal. Insurance covers 100%. He posted about his minor procedure on Facebook yesterday with laughing emojis. I delete the email. No hesitation, no second thoughts, no knot in my stomach. I walk to my balcony with a cup of tea. The sound stretches out gray and restless under low clouds. A ferry cuts through the water, lights bright against the coming dusk. Seagulls wheel overhead, their cries sharp and clean. I breathe in salt air, exhale slowly. This is peace. Not the absence of noise, but the presence of boundaries. A fortress I built brick by brick, learning that walls aren't always meant to keep people out. Sometimes they're just meant to keep you safe inside. My journal sits on the small table. I open it to a blank page and write, Silence isn't an absence of noise. It's a fortress I built to protect my peace. Then, below it, they taught me love was sacrifice. I learned love is also boundaries. The sun breaks through the clouds for just a moment, turning the water gold. I close the journal and let myself smile. Not because everything is perfect, but because everything